Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today, Dr. Joshi will give you brief introduction on Indian trade and balance of payment. We welcome you, Dr. Joshi.
So, Indian balance of payment and economy is sustained by these foreign capital flows, which are, as I mentioned, Indian corporates, because of the liberalization, they have been accessing foreign market for undertaking commercial borrowings. Then, as we mentioned earlier, non-resident deposits in India. Every year, we are getting more than 14,000, around 15,000, or more, substantial amount of million 14,000 million US million dollars every year is the net addition which foreign NRIs, non-resident Indians, they deposit net in the country. That is also instrumental in boosting the foreign exchange reserves and the health of balance of payment in India. It may be because of the fact that in India rate of interest is quite high as compared to the developed countries. So, for example, all we know in Japan, the interest rate is almost zero. In India, we get interest rate in term deposits around 6%, 7%. So that is a huge money for the for NRI individuals. In US, the rate of interest in banks is hovers around 2 to 2.5% or even less. So therefore, NRI deposits which India receives every year, it helps boosting its balance of payment considerably, and it basically saves India from uncertainties which may arise due to exchange rate fluctuations, and because of the fact that during uncertain times, if some disturbance is there, some war is there, or some other economic disaster takes place, or like what we experienced in times of subprime crisis, etc., the India gets a cushion as far as the its economic sustainability is concerned. Other important aspects of the balance of payment are clearly the foreign investments. One is FDI, foreign direct investment, and the other is the portfolio investment, which we call as FII, foreign institutional investment. FDI is more of a permanent in nature because of the fact that the investment is undertaken with the motive of managing a corporate, which is a huge booster for the economy. So, this FDI investment is not a hot money which can be taken out because of any economic uncertainty globally which may arise. Hence, FDI growth in India is substantial, and to the extent of 31,000 US million dollars in the year 2014-15 to 35,612 US dollars in 17-18, and then in 18-19 more than 30,700 US million dollar is a huge money which is India is benefiting out of it. Portfolio investment, they are more volatile in nature, but in the year 2014-15 we received net portfolio investment to the extent of 42,205 US million dollars, which is a huge amount of money. Obviously, portfolio investment is for taking advantage and making profit out of the movement in capital market, and hence whenever the foreign investors they wish to book profit, they do that, and that is what leads to the in some years there will be a negative value for the portfolio investment. But put together, India is experiencing a good reforms and leading to good FDI, and hence it is considered that India will continue to grow uh, at a good pace as far as the GDP is concerned. And now looking at the after having discussed current account deficit in the balance of payment and surplus in the capital account, let us see which are the trading partners of India and how much uh, it is benefiting and how much what it needs to do for future sustainability of its international trade. The it, if we look at the mercantile trade balance is what we talked about, the deficit in the trade account. Mercantile trade balance is in the year 2018-19 is minus 6.8% of GDP. That means we are importing more goods and services rather than we are exporting. Then coming to the the other important figures of which are the top trading partners of India. If we look at the data, then we see that in the year 2019-20, USA constitutes from April to November, USA constitutes 11.3% of total trade with India's total trade. Second is Chinese People's Republic, 10.9%, followed by 7.3% of GDP by United Arab Emirates, followed by UAE is Saudi Arabia, 4.1% of the GDP. This is followed by Hong Kong, Iraq, Singapore, Germany, Korea, and Switzerland. So these are the top 10 trading partners of India during a recent past. Then if we look at the trade surplus or deficit with these trading partners, then USA and United Arab Emirates are the trade partners with which we have India is having trade surplus. On the contrary, China is the country which is with which India is having trade deficit. Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Germany, Korea, Indonesia, Switzerland, Hong Kong, and Singapore. With all these countries, we have trade deficits. That means we import more, but we export less. If we look at the exports from India, then we have the India's share in world exports is hovering around below 2% of the world exports. It was in the year 2011, it was 1.64% of the world exports. In the year 2018, also it was 1.64% of the world exports. In the year 2013, it increased to 1.78% of the world export. Within the export, share of manufactured export in India's total export is now almost 73% in the year 2018. It has increased from 64% in the year 2011 to 73%, which is almost 8 to 9% of manufactured exports have increased, which is a good sign. Although manufactured items are growing, exports are growing slowly, but it is still growing a bit. Share of non-manufactured exports in India's total export was 36% in 2011, which has declined to 27% by the year 2018. At the same, so this is the scenario which so basically all the economies they focus on exporting manufactured items rather than the services because manufacturing provides a lot of employment to the population and which is very important. Now, as far as the non-POL exports and its growth is concerned, non-POL exports in terms of US billion dollars, they are around 205 billion US dollars at present, which have in the year 2018-19 they were 283.5 billion US dollars, which has increased from 249 billion dollars in the year 2011-12. Growth of non-POL export. The POL is petroleum, oil, and lubricant group of products. Now, as we know, India does not produce much of crude oil itself. So therefore it has to compulsorily import it. How government has come or the as a part of policy country has got immunity from the crude oil prices is because India has set up huge refinery capacity for crude oil. Okay, so therefore, not only we are importing crude oil, but we are exporting refined products, crude oil products. Reliance Industries, ONGC, and other public sector companies, they are big refiners, and therefore, on the one hand, we import crude oil, but at the same time, we export the refined petroleum products. So, if we look at commodity-wise composition of export, petroleum product between year 2011 and 12 and 9 and 18-19, then petroleum products are the biggest export contributors, followed by pearl, precious, and semi-precious stones. Here also, in case of pearl, precious, semi-precious stones, what is important is that India imports the raw material from South Africa and other parts of the world and export the finished products. So therefore, if we look at import, then also these two products, petroleum products and pearl, precious and semi-precious stones, they will constitute a big chunk. Then other exports include drugs, biologicals, then gold and other precious metal jewelry, iron and steel, products of iron and steel, organic chemicals, cotton and other accessories, ship, boat and floating structures, and other commodities. Now, if we look, this was in 2011-12. If we look at the recent data, 2019-20, then motor vehicles and cars and marine products. So these are the two new products, new category of products, which are being exported from from India. Motor vehicles and cars being exported indicates that we are getting more manufacturing capacity being set up by not only Indian producers but also by foreign producers, Japanese producers, South Korean car manufacturers, and German car manufacturers or US car manufacturers. So therefore, manufacturing is picking up, although it is slow, but we continue to contribute to export of petroleum products, pearl and precious, semi-precious stones, drug formulation, biologicals. Now, if you look at this list, then this clearly indicates that India's export basket has shifted from the traditional export items, which used to be textiles, which used to be leather products, and the likes. In contrast to that, now we are exporting these products, which are non-traditional items of export from India. Then coming to the top 10 destinations of India, this includes the share of country in total Indian merchandise exports in the year 2011-12 and 2019-20. USA continues to be the leading trading partner, followed by UAE. Third is China, People's Republic, then Hong Kong, Singapore, United Kingdom, Netherlands, Germany, and others. So these are the main trading partners and where we are exporting. So these are the export destinations from India. Then coming to imports as percentage of GDP. Now, as we all know, GDP growth has been very high in India, and the fact that since 2011-12 to 2018-19, we have decline in imports, merchandise imports as percent of GDP from 26.8% in 2011-12 to 18.9% in 2018-19. Okay, so this clearly indicates that as a percent of GDP, okay, all the overall income, India's merchandise imports are declining. Then coming to the share of POL import, petroleum, oil, and lubricants constitute a very important part and constitutes a major proportion of India's imports. Share of POL import in total import as percent is 30. It used to be 32% in the year from 2009 to 14. It declined to 25.2% of total imports in the year 2014 to 19. and they were 27% in the year 2018 and 19. Now, this import depends on the crude oil prices. We all know that India is a growing economy, and we require to have imports, crude oil imports. And in the year 2014, international crude oil prices were at their maximum, and which have declined since then. And that is what is benefiting. So, decline in crude oil prices is benefiting India a great deal. That is indicated by crude oil price of Indian basket of petroleum products. It was 96 US dollars per barrel in the year between 2009 and 14. This has declined to 61 US dollars. That means more than 30 to 35% decline in crude oil price of Indian basket of the petrol. Why it is basket of petrol? Because India imports different quality of crude oil. So that has declined considerably, and that is what is another benefiting feature for the Indian economy. At the same time, merchandise import as percent of GDP, they have declined from 24% of total imports of between 2009 2014 to 18.9% in the year 1819. Now this is followed by the another important import item of India is gold. So India is a huge consumer and market for gold imports globally. So share of gold in total merchandise import it was in the year 2011-12, it was 11.5% of total imports. So one can imagine gold is a non-productive commodity, and this is where India spends a lot of money in importing gold. 11.5% in the year 2011-12 of total imports. So one is crude oil, and another is huge import item is the gold. Love for gold for Indians is mind boggling. Then it has, fortunately, because of the increased gold prices and increased duties within India, it has declined to 6.4% in the year 1819. So therefore government has been successful in curbing Indian people's demand for gold. Then we have the the other countries which are trading partners of India. If we look at commodity wise import, then India import petroleum is the first commodity in 2011-12 also, and in 2019-20 also. Gold is the second commodity. Then petroleum products are the other commodity. Then coal, coke, pearl, and precious semi-precious stones. Then we have fertilizer manufactured, telecom instruments, organic chemicals, industrial machinery for dairy, etc. So if you look at the biggest import, then petroleum crude 21% in the year 1920 and 27% in the year 11-12. Gold is 11.6% and 6.4% in 2019-20. So if you look at imports, then similar kind of imports list as a percentage between years 2011 and 12 emerges, and 2019-12. So the import of almost similar items is taking place between during these two time periods, except for if you look at in 2019-20, we have more of electronic components being imported by India. So this gives us a brief of the uh, import commodity wise. Then coming to imports country wise, top 10 import origin of India. Big India imports maximum from Chinese People's Republic. It was 14.5% of total imports now in the present year, compared to 2011-12 when there were 11% imports we were doing. Similarly, USA also increased imports to India, as a proportion of India's import, which is now 7.8%. It used to be 4.8% in the year 11-12. UAE, we are we are importing now 6%. Earlier in the year 11-12, we were importing 7.5% of total import. This is clearly visible because of the fact that crude oil prices have declined. At the same time, Saudi Arabia's imports to India as percentage of India's import have also declined from 6.6% in 2011-12 to 5.6% now. This is again because of the decline in the crude oil prices globally. So the other importing partners, country-wise, are Iraq, Switzerland, Indonesia, Hong Kong, Korea, Singapore, Kuwait, Australia, and Germany. So these are the countries with which India is engaging itself as far as import is concerned. Then coming to the so therefore, what are the outcomes of the Indian balance of payment? One is with the help of FDI, FII, and NRI deposits, India is able to have a healthy balance of payment. Secondly, because of the most important imports are the crude oil products, the crude oil itself, and gold. Thirdly, it is able to withstand or increase exports because of its increasing refining capacity of the crude oil. And then it is sustaining the FDI because of the fact that it itself is a huge market because of the large population and because of the democratic government and liberal economic policies. It is continuing to receive good investment in the form of FDI and FII. So this sums up the story as far as the Indian trade and India's trends in balance of payment and international trade. It is wonderful. Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, yeah, great to